What's up, guys? My name is Frankie. I'm making a video today showing you guys how to disassemble the Maxum Elite gun. I have a Titan Cap Spray 105, and I'm just making this video today to help show users how it breaks down, some of the terminology about it and things of that nature and stuff like that. So without any further ado, don't be a bitch. All right. First thing you want to do anytime you're going to clean the gun or whatever, you want to break it down. There's two tabs right here. You want them pointing up to the ceiling, and then you want to take this piece right here. You're going to push it back. That's going to break it free, and then you're going to twist it counterclockwise. Gun breaks apart. Now this will be referred to as a gun body. Inside right here is a little seal that pops out, 2 hex hit bolts, and inside there is an O-ring. Anytime you might need to replace that or anything, that's how you get to it. Now I will warn you that these 2 hexes, I believe they're 7/64ths. They strip and they round off very easily. I got one out and I managed to strip the other, and I had to tap it out. I've got a new set of screws coming in, but we'll get back to this guy in a second. Here's your actual cup. It's a 1-quart cup. And here's the tubing right here. This is your check valve right here. You can see that. All that does is twist off, and on the inside here, you'll find a little piece that has a little nipple on the inside of it that faces in. And all that does is seal it off so that you have a airtight seal, and it allows this cup right here to be pressurized. It's very important you keep this part right here clean as can be, and also this tubing right here that allows your paint to come up and for it to actually go to the needle and shoot out. You can buy, I believe, a long strip of this at Home Depot or something like that. Instead of actually getting it from Titan itself. Save your money. You just cut it to the length that you desire, and then put it back on there and replace it. But it's key, from everything I read and done, that you want to keep this check valve clean and all that. And when you're cleaning the gun and everything, you want to break it down, but this is the only fluid section you need to worry about. You don't actually have to worry about cleaning the gun body itself, because this is just the air that comes up. Now, the cup has 2 levers. The very bottom one has a suction cup at the bottom of the cup. Whichever way you push it, I think this flips it to the back. If you pull it to you, it forces the little cup piece to the front. I guess that's when you're spraying up and down, you can flip it, and that's how it sucks the paint up. And this is the actual locking tab here. Loosen that up. Inside you have some goodies, some stuff like that. I think one of the key components of this is this actual seal. Without this seal in here, it will not seal off the cup, it won't pressurize, it won't work right, etc., etc. Here's the fluid section I was telling you about. When you turn that, it actually turns to this. Alright, locks back on in place, simple as can be. You just line it up and you pull that back to you as tight as you can. That seals it off. All right. This is your fluid nozzle. This is your projector set. Here's the needle right here. This is your packing nut on top. Anytime you're cleaning the gun, you never want to loosen this packing nut all the way unless you're actually replacing the packing. But this unscrews. Say you want to change a projector set. You got a 3 in. You want to spray some heavy latex. You want to go to a projector set 5. You just unscrew this fluid cap. Fluid nozzle comes off. Next comes out is your little spring. All right, and then inside, as you can see, is your fluid nozzle head. In your bag that comes with it, this special tool right here is what breaks that free. Turn counterclockwise, that comes off. That comes out just like so, and then your needle will actually pull out. Now, say you want to switch to a 5. All you're going to do is put your 5 needle in. You're going to put your needle head or nozzle head back on. Tighten it hand tight. And then you take your tool and just make sure it's cinched down properly. Spring. Nozzle cap. Fluid ring. Twist all back together like so. Now, this cap actually twists 3 different positions. When it's horizontal, it gives you a vertical pattern. When it's diagonal, it gives you a circle round. And when it's vertical, it gives you a horizontal pattern. All right, that's pretty much that. Then here's your gun body. I already explained to you about the gun body O-ring inside. Next is going to be your air, which is up here, how you adjust your air, and then this nozzle right here, or this knob, adjusts the material flow that's coming in. All right, we're gonna go ahead in your air section here. It has a Phillips screw head, so we're gonna go ahead, undo that. That comes out the back. Oops. That comes off like that. And then you need an adjustable wrench. That pops out. Or just screws off like so. And you see that comes out. And you can actually see inside the gun body here. And the only thing it talks about in here is there's a little O-ring right there. If you ever needed to replace that, you know, you would do so. It also comes with this little disc looking washer that just fits on there, on the end right there like so. Now the big part about that is when you're going to put it back together, you want to take this piece, push it in, you're going to thread it back on all the way. This is very important. All right, you're gonna tighten this up all the way. You don't want to put that knob on there at any time just yet, and there's a reason why. Got it back tight. Now you're gonna actually take this and twist it counterclockwise until you feel it stop. I think that's very important because this is how you line it back up. So make sure you twist this counterclockwise until you can't anymore. Then at that point, you're gonna take this piece and you're gonna put it back on, but there's a little cutout in it. I don't know if you can see it. You're gonna face that in a 9 o'clock position when you go to put it back on. This is very key. Otherwise, you lose your adjustment. All right, we'll take our screw. We're gonna put it back in. It's very key. Like I said, I was just trying to show you guys this because I went through all this trying to figure it out on my own. It became a headache for me, so. Once you do that, it gives you full range, full adjustment. It's better to have a screwdriver instead of a drill because it'll jump it around. All right. So we got that back on there. Now, as you can just see, my dumb ass just put that back on. But the key part about all this is when you go to take this off, you actually got to take all this stuff out so you can get to this one. Otherwise, you can't get your adjustable wrench on there. So let me undo what I just did. All right. Yeah, I'm a dumbass, I know. All right, so this is your material. And actually, I'm not actually gonna take this all the way off because I'll show you in a second. All right, that unscrews like so. All right, inside you have a needle. There's actually a spring, and then right here I think it's just your rear air valve seal. Like I said, I don't know the exact terminology. I don't have my book, but I know there's a lot of times you have to replace that. So that'll go back in with the bevel side facing down, just like it came out. All right. And then in here, it'll be the gun packing in there, front seal. What you'll do is you'll take an 1/8 Allen wrench. That unscrews, and what will happen is this trigger bushing right here, it'll unscrew from that. You'll pull that out, and then that's when you can you can replace that front valve seal, or whatever the terminology is, the front valve seal, I believe. And it has a little snap O-ring on there that has it fits right in the, it's about 2 inches back on it, but you're gonna need a pair of snap O-rings to get that out. And that's how you replace that right there. I'm not gonna actually show you guys how to do that because it's a pain in the ass trying to put it back on, because this thing right here threads on to the end of that. And so when you're putting it back in, you gotta play with it, line it up just perfect, and go ahead and tighten that. But when you're actually going to take this off, you need something to grab a hold of that, so when you're going to put your Allen wrench in, you know, otherwise it'll just be spinning and spinning. So you need to put something on here to stop it. Same thing goes when you're threading it back on. All right, so that's that. And that's pretty much it. As far as I know about these guns, this bottom right here, it's pretty cool. You can take this plug out, and it comes with, in your bag, it comes with a plug stop. You put that in, and then you can actually put this connector up here where your air line was, and it would be a constant fed air. So every time you squeeze the trigger, it'd be like an airless sprayer. It'd be ready to go right then and there, instead of having to hold the trigger for about 2 seconds, let the air go out, and then it starts spraying your material. Also, guns very easily to put it into a gravity fed cup. All you would do is unscrew this piece right here. That actually rotates up, and then that's how you assemble your gravity fed on there. So that's pretty simple. So like I said, let's go ahead and reassemble this back. That just goes back in the bottom down here, just how you took it out. Twist it back together. It's not rocket science at this point. I read the book. Again, this is one of the most important pieces right here, what I learned. Because I went to put it back on the first time, I didn't pay attention. And I was like, why the hell won't it twist all the way to the right? I didn't have my adjustment, you know. So, like I said, once you get that on there, twist that counterclockwise till it stops. You want to take this piece, it has it's notched in 2 spots. You want to put that in a 9 o'clock position. You want to take your screw and put it back in, and make sure it stays in the 9 o'clock position the whole time you're doing that, so you can get your full adjustment. Otherwise you won't. You'll be wondering why the hell you don't have that. Alright, so that's put back together. And now on the inside here, you probably can't see it, but it's all contorted on the inside. And this thing right here, you can see it better. If I spin it around, you'll notice how it's uneven and stuff like that right here. That's because the gun, when you go to put it back on, you insert it in here, and then as you go to spin it back up, you hear it click, it locks back in place. Same thing when you're going to take it off, you spin it off, pull out. All right, now this this is probably the biggest thing that I couldn't figure out. When I went to put this back together, I didn't realize that you had to push the actual trigger forward. So let me show you. I'm gonna demonstrate what happened to me. I just left it in a normal position, went to put it back on, and if you can see, my trigger was stuck right here. And I'm a dumbass, so I naturally assumed that I had put something back together wrong, or I did something wrong. So I spent damn near an hour trying to figure out what the hell I did wrong, when in fact, when you go to put it back together, you slide that trigger forward. And why I finally figured it out, because when you squeeze the trigger, it pulls this needle back, obviously. So when you go to put this thing back together, always have the trigger push forward when you put it back on. That allows this needle to go behind the trigger, and the trigger will actually catch it and pull it back when you squeeze it. Makes sense, right? Otherwise, what the hell? Let's see, I done it already. All right. Now, when you pull the trigger, you see it pulls the needle. That was the biggest thing. So, you know, overall, that's pretty much how it breaks down. You can read your little manual, how it comes with it. It'll tell you all the terminology about the gun and everything like that. This hook piece actually slides out. You can spin it around. I mean, this gun, this cup thing is it's all different things. It comes with different accessories. You can get a 2-quart pot where it hooks up to your unit, and then you won't have this cup on the front, and it gives you, it's a 2-quart pressure pot pretty much. It gives you full mobility. You won't have this heavy piece on the front, and you just have a gun. Say you're doing like an iron fence or something like that. So it's pretty cool. As far as cleaning, you just put your appropriate cleaner in the cup. No need for back flushing, so you just take it, they say shake it, squeeze the trigger, and you just repeat until you see the fluid coming out clean, like I said. And the way you break this down, when you're done with breaking it down, you push these 2 little knobs right here. I don't know if you can see it, but you push them forward, and that locks the trigger in place. So anytime you're going to break it apart, you got to take both of them, point them to the ceiling all the way back, and then push that knob right there, and that's what breaks your gun free. Like I said, so I mean, that's pretty simple. And then I'm gonna show you guys what the actual unit looks like. Here, this is what the actual Cap Spray 105 looks like. You got the hoses right here. Of course, this hose just attaches threads on right here. This is your little whip hose that goes onto the back of the gun. Your cup rests up in here, on and off switch, and then your filters actually go right here. That pops down. There's a pre-filter and then an actual filter, and then in the back right here, it's a little storage for your projector sets and stuff like that. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If anything, I hope it helps you guys. And it gives you a little bit more confidence about putting the stuff back together. So, like I said, I'm just glad I could give you guys some advice on how to put these things back together, how to use a Maxum Elite gun, and some of the key components about it. Hope y'all have a blessed day.